Hey guys, what's up? Yalak here, and in today's Boom Beach video, I have a wealth of material to show you, and that's because I had already made part of this video. I had made a video for these 4 attacks, and I had it prepped in advance for this morning because I don't have a ton of time this morning. And then I went ahead, and while I was deleting things, I happened to delete that. So now I have that, plus extra material as well. From down here, and I really would like to show this attack. So now we're going to have to prioritize. So the first thing I want to show, let's see, this base, yeah, we'll show this in 2x mode, because I think the placement on this was pretty decent. These 2 towers are clustered together, and I'm planning to get into the blind spot of that rocket as much as possible. A few of the girls are going to peek out the side, not that big a deal. Now this smoke here is a little bit off center, and here we'll slow it back down. That smoke there was a little bit off center, and then when we flare forwards, the heavy step forwards, a few of those girls get picked off, as I said, by that rocket, and then these 2 towers we dealt with 1 shock. By the time the shock is finished, the HQ is already down. Next attack I'm going to show, and I have been working on this particular strategy. Other things will be the same, but in my parking spot up behind the HQ, oh no, off to the side, this guy, by the way, this is a terrible base design. This guy gives parking spots everywhere. You've got parking spots over here where nothing in the back is going to be shooting at you. You've got a parking spot back here where nothing in the back is going to be shooting at you. You've got a parking spot over there where nothing in the back is going to be shooting at you. Terrible, terrible base design. I had my pick of places to go. I decided to go to the right rather than the back. The right is a little bit shorter a walk, so that saves GBE. Right and left was pretty much a toss-up. Landing, as usual, mid-flare. In this case, the mid-flare is the parking spot. But we're just going to stay under that 1 smoke rather than throwing 2, because could have regrouped a little bit there. But by the time the girls peaked, it was time to go anyway. So, flare to the HQ, and threw a shock back there, mainly for the mortar, but also for the shock blaster. Ended up throwing a shock over here just because of that machine gun, so it wasn't picking off too many girls. And Ghost Troops for the win. Boom, boom, boom. This one is not totally consequential. The only thing about this attack that I really enjoyed is that my midway flare was right next to his hot pot, and I don't know why, but that just always makes me happy. This was a 61, and this is a terrible base design. I almost considered not attacking this guy because with players this high up, my heavies tend to get destroyed in rapid succession. Well, what we're doing here, we're going to remove that middle rocket, ignore the range towers over here. The shock blaster and the shock launcher don't factor in at all, and this, by the time it does factor, shouldn't be too big a concern, meaning I'm trying to get the heavies lined up, something like that, and so then that rocket launcher will just be firing into heavies and or critters, but we need to have some heavies at the back of the base. So 3-4, the drop, you know, Doom Cannon is just one-shotting them, of course. We're going to do a midway flare off to the side as soon as the Zookas catch up. We've got some heavies left, so that's good. And the idea here is we're going to park to the side. This is not going to be of consequence, but this rocket has to go because otherwise it'll be shooting me in the back as I walk up this way. So, park under smoke, flare it, the rocket disappears, and as soon as it does, we re-smoke and flare and get out of there because we're trying to stay away from the shock launcher too. But it doesn't have to be taken down, it can just be avoided, as can much of his base here. Here we had to stay and gather up some GBE because I had none left, which is not terrible because the heavies wandered forwards, and so as I make this walk up, they are standing between me and this base, which is where you want them. Apparently I'm associating myself with Zukas here. Well, the Zukas, well, whatever. Anyway. The Zukas are what I'm trying to protect, so that's what I'm saying. Now, here, I did shock on the HQ because those things are ripping up my heavies pretty quickly. The booms will one-shot my heavies and the flames will do continuous damage. This, as I said, is just firing into the heavies, and we had a ghost heavy working in there too. This gunboat ability is not so much game-changing as it is just plain useful. It's not, I don't know, it's not epic, but at the same time, you just can't deny its utility. It's practical, and nobody gets excited over practical, but then again, there's nothing wrong with practical. Alright, that was the 61. This guy, at the end of that video, I did a GBE demo just to show how I would attack him, and I realized in doing that, I was showing versus smoking your landing and letting your heavies absorb fire on the beach, so you don't have to smoke until later. I was trying to show how you can do a comparison on how you can save GBE on both ends of your attack by not using the double smoke at the end, not using a triple smoke at the beginning, because that gets expensive. So I showed how I would attack him, drop on the beach, let the heavies eat up some fire, get back to the HQ, try to sit under one smoke, and then flare forward and bang, bang, bang. Well, I realized I still had like 45 GBE left when I did this. This was with no troops. This was just smoking and flaring and stuff like that. And I realized I had so much GBE left that I kind of had to attack this guy. I had marked this guy off as probably not one I was going to go for. But there was so much GBE there that I just couldn't not. Because we're going to try to get up again into the blind spot of that rocket. We're dealing with that shock launcher. And these over here shouldn't be too big of a deal for us. So they're on the drop, not smoking the drop, which was the point of the quick demo that I was doing. And then here we're going to try to get them under one. A little bit of a peak there, but you don't really worry about. We don't need half times mode. A little bit of a reorg just to get the heavy or the Zukas to the back, heavies to the front. And we did shock down here. This is firing. There are critters coming out. As usual, they go the wrong direction, but in this case that helps me. Did end up throwing a shock over there later. Had the GBE for it, so why not? And yeah, down he goes. Simple as that. Again, wasn't even going to attack him, and kind of realized I had to. And then finally, this morning, I don't know what he's doing, clustering his GBE all over there. We're going to deal with 2 of the 3 range towers here. The far one, and the shock launcher. And then this one we're going to nip in and take care of manually. So, used up a bit of GBE there, but I was still in pretty good shape. Nothing to worry about. And then that CMO is just going to be kind of a non-factor. Just 2 boats of heavies this time. Thought I could get away with it. Turns out I was right. So that flare is right up against the wall. The smoke is intentionally off-center so that the troops will sit to the back of it and flare forward. Pull the heavies out a little bit, a shock in that area because there's not a lot of separation. And we're going to let the troops gather a little GBE for us and then flare away. And smoke on the back end because of that mortar. Sit back here and just gather GBE for days. I don't know what he's thinking there, but hopefully he'll consider redesign after seeing this. If he watches, you really should watch your replays. At least, if not every single one. I mean, like, I don't need to watch every single tank attack. But like, if you feel you're getting a bunch of tank attacks, watch the replays and see what's happening, so that maybe you can try to forestall some of those. And we've got critters going, we've got heavies in just the position we want them. We're coming at this HQ from exactly the angle that we would like. So the heavies are absorbing fire and the Zookas are not. And down that guy goes. And the celebratory barrage at the end. So, I have been keeping busy. I'm looking on this account to get to I'm hoping to build up some resources, and I'm going to get myself 1 minute 20 seconds. Did yet another 15% GBE troop damage masterpiece overnight. I don't know what it is with this account and those things, but for some reason the sculptor just loves torturing me with them. Looking to build up to be able to upgrade this. I already have GBE in storage, so as soon as we drop that, well, we can have even more fun than we're having right now. If you like the video, if you enjoy any of this, give me a thumbs up. You can always drop a comment and say hi. I'm Yalek, and I hope you have a great day. I'm out.